back with All Things Mets podcast. It's your boy JDZ, Josh Dale, and me, of course, Jack Hogan. So
Josh
we're here.
Hogan. Ha
Josh. All right. Well, a couple of us that I've had a couple of drinks tonight, but it's all good. So we are here to talk about a couple of different things. The Philly series, what a series it was. Josh, why don't you start us off? How about that first game?
First game, tough L. Tough L. Bullpen, Lugo, not his best. Hey,
No.
we can't all be our best every given day. We just got to improve on, what we learned in that day. So I think we'll be all right. I think we'll be all right.
God knows I'm not the best every day at work, so we can't expect Lugo and the bullpen to be the best every day. But the bullpen has been a concern to this point in the season.
Well, yeah. But there's a lot to look forward to. And while there's a streaky bullpen, we could be having a streaky offense. And in some aspects we do, but not really. So I think there's a lot to be optimistic for.
Yeah, for sure. But let's start with that game one. I don't want to fucking be here. Did you see the comments made by Alec Boehm after that Phillies win, Mets lost?
Yeah, he was not happy. The Phillies fans were on him, and if he was a Mets player, the Mets fans would be on him. So can't react like that. And fairness to him, he owned up to it and was like, "Yup, that was my mistake."
Yep. I think, I've never been a big Boehm fan. I thought that he was good in his rookie season, and he was terrible last year. And he's, it's too early to tell this season, but
Right.
I really respected him after he went and said to the people, he could have said anything else, but he really went to the people and said, "Look, I messed up. This is what I said." And you saw at game 2, the Phillies fans were clapping for him when he came out to pinch hit. So,
Which hey, we all make mistakes.
yep.
Alec Boehm owned up to it. They were like, as Phillies fans, they're like, "Okay, cool, we're moving
Yeah.
on. This guy's our guy." And hey, Alec Boehm could still be that guy to have 30 home runs this year. You don't know. We don't know.
We don't know. He was a third overall pick. He was, a great prospect,
Right.
and he's really he hit his first year. So
Right.
we could see that Boehm come back.
Anyway, let's talk about, the Mets pitching. Let's talk about the Phillies pitching. What'd you like out of the Mets pitching? I liked Tyler McGill having that nasty-ass slider, just killing outside a part of the zone. And then he backs it up with a 98 average mile-per-hour fastball. So,
Yeah.
I am on the McGill train. I want to see it keep going. I want to see him roaring through lineups and just doing what he does best. And that seems like what it is lately, domination.
Dominant. He's changed up his mechanics. His mechanics are almost DeGrom-like. He's now, you heard in the broadcast, he's now tapping the ball when he comes in, saying it's a timing mechanism that DeGrom does. And he's had an uptick in velocity from simply his mechanics. There's been nothing. He clearly works hard. He's impressed me a ton so far. But really, I think the most impressive pitching line so far was between two guys in game 1 when Tyjon Walker, who we all thought was going to have knee troubles, ended up having arm troubles, but he faced 6 batters and struck out 4 with a disgusting splitter. And then after that, Peterson, who's probably going to take his place in the rotation the next turnaround, delivered 4 scoreless. That is all the Mets could have asked for and did ask for during that game 1 of the Philadelphia series.
Yeah. All right. So looking on to game 2, I talked about McGill already. What did we see? Phillies pitching. Wheeler looked good. You can't I can't sit here and crap on Zach Wheeler because he's been amazing. And he left the Mets and said, "I'm going to take a chance on myself." And he is wind up, of course, with a division rival. No one wants to see it, but we are seeing it. And to be honest, nothing but respect for that guy.
No, I think Wheeler, he had a short spring. This was really his first start of the year, and he had an abbreviated spring, as I said. So they couldn't have really expected more than 4 innings. I think they're pushing it, and the fact that he got 2 outs on 2 pitches really they forced Girardi's hand, and had him face Nimmo, and Nimmo just hit a bad pitch deep.
Oh, that's perfect segue because let's talk about B Nims.
Yeah,
Brandon
what a
Nimmo,
series.
rally starter, run starter, Energizer Bunny. He has gotten them Mets offense going, and it just feels like he is that Energizer Bunny that they need. I expected it. We sat here 3 years ago. Maybe I would expect more from a Jeff McNeil in that regard, but McNeil's not hitting at the top of the lineup, and you don't need him to right now. Nimmo is the table setter. Nimmo is that Energizer Bunny, that go-getter. So I love what I'm seeing out of Brandon Nimmo so far in the first week of the season.
Oh, Josh, I know better than anybody. I've known you for a long time. You've been on the Brandon Nimmo train since he was drafted. I mean, you used to say, yeah, we used to talk about it, and you'd be like, Jack, Brandon Nimmo, he's going to come up and just set the world on fire. And while he's had injuries troubles in his career, when he's been healthy, he's been nothing but a dynamic outfielder for the Mets. And now a great center fielder. I mean, I couldn't ask for anything more.
I got those picks. I have those picks, the Drew Smiths of the world. But, I've been on the other end and been like, Gavin Cecchini, next.
Yeah, you were a big Gavin Cecchini guy.
In the major leagues. You don't even know. And then I was like, oh, they're going to turn him third baseman. No problem. It was a problem. Gavin Cecchini, love you. Big respect. If you're listening to this, which you probably won't, big respect. All right.
Lastings Millage.
I wasn't big on Lastings Millage.
No.
The problem was in the 2006 team, real quick, little history. That was the only prospect you had coming up, really.
Oh, for sure.
There might have been pitching guys come up and down, but Lastings Millage was the only true young guy on that team.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, I don't mean to.
You had Reyes and Wright, but they were in the league a couple of years. So, right. And you trusted them. Lastings Millage was brand new.
Right.
So,
right.
And hey, he had a good little spark. So bullpen, we talked about Lugo, not the best, but I think Seth can build on that. He's probably a guy, and he's had a weird career. Hey, you're going to be a starter, reliever, long man. Now you're our closer / long man / whatever we need you to be. So I kind of Seth Lugo has a bad outing. Maybe those off-speed pitches don't get there. I'm not too worried.
Yeah. No, I think he clearly didn't have his off-speed stuff that whole outing. I mean, he couldn't hit with his curveball or his slider, but his fastball, when that's all you got, you could just predict it and just crush it.
Right.
So,
major league hitters can hit 98-mile-per-hour fastballs.
Right. That's why there's
no argument. Leagues. Right.
Yeah.
Right. So, the fastball isn't always going to do it.
No, 100%. And even if you got a great fastball, I mean, you still need something else. But the part that really got me was Buck Showalter's management of this bullpen, which I'm a little concerned about at this point. I mean, it's still early, but I don't love Buck pushing these guys to go more than one inning. I think it's early in the season to be doing that. And I think that some of these guys like Trevor May and Drew Smith, who's had some serious injury history, we're trying to keep him healthy for a full season. And I think pushing him this early is a little tough. What do you think, Josh?
Disagree. Now's the time to see what they got. You got 28 men on the roster. April is always known to have a couple more off days sprinkled in there. And then, the weather just doesn't hold up in the Northeast, especially as a Mets fan. So, you might have doubleheaders scheduled for later in the season against these division rivals. You might have day game after night game kind of situations where you need these guys, and you do have 28 men. And remember, they can carry 14 pitchers as opposed to 13 when it goes back down to 26. So I think, right now, see what you got. And let's be real. Drew Smith is your best pitcher right now in that bullpen. No doubt.
Other than Diaz.
Tell me a better pitcher.
Diaz. I am a Diaz fan.
Oh, you're lagging out on us. That's all right. All right. What were you saying?
Can you hear me now? Sorry, guys.
Oh yeah, no issue.
I am a Diaz fan through and through. I think Diaz can have an electric year, an absolute dominant year. So I think he's easily the best pitcher in that bullpen. But I think Drew Smith is definitely that number two. And I think if they do decide to let Diaz walk after this year, there will be a conversation about will Drew Smith be the closer of this team coming into
Assuming that there's
2023?
outside players that they want to get as well
Right.
to replace
Right.
Edwin Diaz. But so far, I mean, let's be real. And I've been on the Drew Smith hype train, and I'll continue to be on the Drew Smith hype train, whether he has short hair, long hair, dark hair, blonde hair, whatever he wants to do with that luscious hair. I don't have any, so I'm jealous. and he's got a fastball. So not only does he have hair, but he has a fastball that can kill major league hitters in the box. I'm on that Drew Smith hype train all day. I've been since day one. You got to know. You got to know about Drew Smith at this point if you're a Mets fan and if you're a fan in the NL East, because Drew Smith, he's coming for you.
That's right. Well, Josh, I think we should get into that game 2, the shutout the Mets threw.
Well, hold on real quick. I agree. I wanted to make one more point about the bullpen if I can.
Let's hear it.
Did you notice that they had a game plan coming out of the gate? Drew Smith, like his first inning, I think that second night, first hitter, like it was all fastballs. Second hitter was all sliders. Third, it was fastballs and changeup. So It was really interesting how and then Diaz did the same thing when he was pitching in the end of the game. I think it was almost the same rhythm, but he struck Rhys Hoskins out mostly on sliders.
Yeah, and Harper he threw 5 sliders to.
Right. So, it's interesting. I don't think I've ever noticed a pattern in the Mets bullpen where they come out of the gate and they have a strategic game plan that was that obvious against these hitters. So it begs the question, are there that big of holes that you see on these video feeds and highlights and studying the videotape that you see these big of holes in these Philly hitters? You got to think, right? There's got to be obvious holes that the Mets are seeing.
This is actually, I think I have a good take on this. This is the first year the Mets have expanded their analytics team to this big. It's one of the bigger ones in the sport now. So maybe we just have more eyes, smarter eyes, looking at the video and just seeing things that we've missed in the past. So
never know.
I mean, we shut Schwarber down this whole series. He killed us last year. What did he get? 1 hit? Did he even get a hit?
I think he got 1 hit. I think you're right. He didn't have a hit in the April 12th game. And no, he had a walk.
Yep, he had a walk.
So yeah, not great. But I mean, Kyle Schwarber, and I was talking to a fantasy baseball expert earlier today, and they drafted Kyle Schwarber and Bryce Harper to their fantasy team, and they're not happy with the results right now. But let's be real, Bryce Harper, he's going to produce. And what we saw yesterday with the single home run in the 9th inning to put him down just by 3 runs, that's typical Bryce Harper.
Without a doubt. I mean, he always does. It's always too little, too late. I mean, granted, he had a
Not even that. I'm calling him out right now. I don't think he's clutch.
Oh, I totally agree with you there. There's a reason. Brian Deo, Josh's father, he said to me last night. We got dinner together last night. He said to me last night, there's something that goes on with when a team like the Nationals, so talented, loses somebody like Harper and then wins the World Series. You have to wonder about his ego and everything that kind of goes into who Bryce Harper is, especially when he's on these Phillies teams that.
All right. Yeah, I know. I don't want to shit on him this whole time because we could do a whole podcast about that.
All right, Josh. You want to move on?
Let's move on. What about the Marte Parte? I hate that saying, but it has grown on me a little bit. Starling Marte with the speed, with the bat, and with the defense. How can you not love what this guy's doing right now?
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see him, hit a little bit more. He hasn't really been hit. He hit a couple hits in the last game of the series, but for the most part, he's off to a relatively slow start.
I mean, if you got 260 out of him with 25 home runs, 25 stolen bases, and just about 800 OPS, are you going to be disappointed? No. Right? No.
Oh, my God.
So that's what I think we're headed for. Last year, you also stole 47 bases. Are we getting that? Are we getting that at age 33 season in a Buck Showalter managerial type role? Now, they have been super aggressive. Joey Cora, the guy, super aggressive on the base paths.
Super. I
But
love it.
does that mean that the stolen bases are going to be a real thing this year, or are we just in for a little teaser?
Yeah, make a good point. I mean, I don't get me wrong. I'm nitpicking here with Marte. I love Marte. I mean, first pitch of the season when he dunked that line drive into right field and then got thrown out stealing second. I texted Josh and said, "Dude, I love this guy." I mean, he adds a dynamic on the base path that we haven't had since Jose Reyes. It's a guy who makes the pitcher worry about who's on first instead of focusing on who's at the plate, which leads to more mistakes.
Yeah. And that's what Jose Reyes was.
Right.
Right. So, like, how can you not love that? And the speed is something that the Mets have been lacking. Oh, we had Eric Young Jr. Great. We were winning 70 games a year. It don't matter.
No.
Now we are a competitive team, and speed kills. There's no doubt about it. There is no doubt about it. Speed kills. So I'm happy about the Starling Marte pickup. Yeah, he might not have the speed forever, but he still knows how to steal bases.
And he
Better
plays
than nothing.
Yeah, and he plays a damn good right field for a guy who's never played right field before. I mean, he could win a Gold Glove. I never really got
that though. I never, to be honest with you, like I know baseball. I feel like I know baseball incredibly well. Been watching my whole life, student of the game. What besides playing center field? What does it matter? Oh, the wall's on my right side. Oh, the wall's on my left side. Are you kidding? Come on. That doesn't make a difference to me. I don't like hearing that. Even Keith said it. Hey, you know what? I'm not Keith Hernandez. I am wearing, mind you, a Keith Hernandez jersey tonight. But he, like, I'm not a Major League Baseball player by any means. I'll never say I am. I understand the game at that level. But what the hell is the difference between playing left field and right field in general? I understand certain ballparks have certain dimensions, plays, whatever.
But Citi Field is pretty run-of-the-mill.
Run-of-the-mill. Yeah. I mean, they used to have the Modell zone and like the big-ass 425 to right center field, but that doesn't exist anymore.
Right.
I would say it's – and with the right field walls coming in, that Pepsi porch, Coca-Cola corner, whatever you want to call it, doesn't really hang 8 feet over, the right field wall now. It's more like 1 to 3 at most, I would say.
Yeah.
So, like, it's not that big of a deal, but I do applaud Starling Marte with that kind of play. Zach Davies is pitching tomorrow for the Diamondbacks. Last game, he had a 3.6 ERA through 5 innings, so that means he gave up a couple runs. In Chicago last year, he did not pitch well, 5.78 ERA, but in San Diego in 2020, in a 69 innings of appearances, he was a 2.73 ERA with 7 wins, 4 losses. Zach Davies, interesting cat. I feel like you don't know what you're going to get out of him. Tomorrow, Chris Bass is throwing on the mound. So we don't need to run down his stats.
You guys already know.
I think I'm liking the Mets' chances. As Gary Cohen has said multiple times, he's very worried about calling the game because of the lack of knownness or study on the Arizona Diamondbacks this year to even know who's in their lineup, to recognize them by their faces and not by the number on their backs. Jackie Robinson Day, I think, will be awesome. Jack, what do you think?
Oh, that's right. I forget it's Jackie Robinson Day tomorrow. And these Diamondbacks, I mean, what is Ketel Marte their identity? I mean,
absolutely.
No doubt. He's a nice player, but I can't hand him the keys to Paul Goldschmidt's Diamondbacks. I mean, I love me some Ketel Marte, but I don't think he's done enough. He's a nice complementary piece to a good lineup. But
if he was on the Dodgers, he would be behind Mookie Betts. He would be behind Max Muncy.
But he's not on the Dodgers.
But my point is that Ketel Marte, MVP type player on your team, not an MVP type player on every team.
Right. I totally agree.
So, I think it will be interesting tomorrow night what goes on or tomorrow afternoon, excuse me. I think they have a 1:10 game. They're doing the about 10:30 reveal of the Tom Seaver statue. Saturday, if you're going to the game, Mets fans, they have the Tom Seaver statue replica. Obviously, the statue will be up, ready to play, ready to see the game. You know who I love on the Diamondbacks that like I can't not root for is Seth Beer. Your
Oh,
last
how
name
can
is
you not?
Beer. How can you not root for that?
Not
David
only is his last name
Peralta.
Beer, he hit a home run on National Beer Day to win the game. So I mean, that's fate right there.
Yeah, Carson Kelly always been a decent hitting catcher. He'll be probably playing catcher for the most part of the series. Pavin Smith, they've had play left field, or excuse me, right field and first base. Drew Ellis, I'm not too sure about him. Christian Walker's on the team. Sergio Alcantara, Yanni Hernandez. I mean, we've heard these names before, no doubt, but there's not much there. So in reality, and as I've said before, you want these Mets to be playing like a playoff contender team, and playoff contender teams beat bad teams.
They do. I mean, I'm hoping for a sweep. I will take a series win. Anything less than that, though, is unacceptable at this point for a playoff team.
No doubt.
Just hit my mic with my hat because
that's how passionate we are about.
I'm so passionate.
I mean, the Mets need to win these series. They need to get fat on these bad teams.
And Pete Alonso is the most clutch hitter in the Mets lineup right now. And I trust Lindor number 2. Lindor, mind you, maybe not has been clutch as a Met. This year's a new year. I have a lot of positive things to say about Francisco Lindor right now as a Mets player, as the everyday shortstop, as the face of this franchise. Besides Pete Alonso and Jacob deGrom, I think Lindor is there just based on his money and his contract. I'm excited about what Francisco Lindor can do this year. 280, 30 home runs, 95 RBIs, and an OPS 800 or above with a Gold Glove fielding defense. That's what I see. That's what I know I want. And that's what I think I'm going to get with Francisco Lindor this year.
So I think if Lindor does do this, what you predict, I think without a doubt the Mets are a World Series contender. And don't get me wrong, I'm a huge Lindor fan. I mean, look at that over there. Lindor. I'm a huge Lindor fan. I mean, I was the happiest man when they traded for him and when they signed him to the long contract. I remember when he was in Cleveland, I used to say, Josh, why can't the Mets develop a guy like this, a guy who can hit with a great glove? And
right now we don't need to because we got the Steve Cohen money, baby.
Uncle Stevie, baby. So I think he's a good leader on this team, and I think he's one of those leaders too who just plays and his play talks for himself. He doesn't need to be what he tried to be last year. Sorry, my eye was itching a little bit.
It's allergy season.
It is. We're upstate New York, allergy season. I mean, he tried to put the team on his back and just play like a 40 home run, 320 hitter, and I mean, that's just not who Lindor is. So he needs to get back to doing what he does best, hitting doubles, hitting 25, 30 home runs, and just getting out there every day and playing spectacular defense at shortstop.
Yep, I agree. The one, and I hate to even label it as a disappointment. I mean, Robbie Cano, don't you know, you're going to do whatever you can. You're 39 years old. I can't sit here and say I have a lot of expectations. I would sit here and say I would like to see a lot of things. But the real one, not concerning just yet, but the real one is Dom Smith. He doesn't look comfortable. He doesn't look ready to go. It's a road trip. Hey, again, I'm not knocking Dom Smith. I don't have to sit here and say he's struggling. He knows he's struggling. That wasn't a good road trip for him. That wasn't a good road trip at all. And that's okay. That's okay. We got a lot of road trips left. We got a lot of home series left. We got a lot of freaking games left, man. So I'm not worried. I just want Dom to find his swing, whatever he can feel comfortable with, man. Dom, rooting for you. You know, trade rumors or whatnot. He's awesome. So I just want him to do really well. And I think he will. I think he just it's a slump buster. Whenever he gets that big double, that big triple, he running around that bases, partying. Ready to roll.
I mean, I love Dom. He does not look comfortable during this home.
But when he's hype, he's hype. I love it.
When he looks like Cano, like prime Cano.
He has such a sweet swing. Like, you can't not be excited about what Dom Smith can do in a healthy full season as a Mets fan right now.
Totally agreed. I think that he needs consistent plate appearances to get there, though. And right now with
It's
Ron
hard
Pino,
right now.
it's
Yeah.
hard right now, and especially with, I mean, they've been having him up against lefties. I don't know how great that is for him. I know he hit lefties well in the past,
If you
but
play MLB 22, the show, they say he's a better left-handed hitter than, or he's better against lefties than he is righties. So
right.
whatever, and they base it off of last year's stats. So how can you not believe that?
Right.
So we got a few minutes left. We got about 5 minutes left. So I'm going to be at Citi Field this weekend. And let me just tell you a few things I'm excited about seeing at Citi Field. Number one, obviously, Tom Seaver statue, enjoying Jackie Robinson Day and all the history that Citi Field has with that. I'm excited to drink. And drink well, my friends. Boy, the Citi Field have the party bus on lock. No matter what. We got Chris Bassett throwing BBs. We got Cookie Carrasco throwing BBs. We got Drew Smith throwing BBs. And then we got Edwin Diaz. Not throwing BBs, but he's throwing disgusting sliders.
Yeah.
And then Alonso, Dom Smith, I know he's going to come in big for the home crowd this weekend. Jeff McNeil, Lindor, Alonso, Nimmo. It's going to be a party. And you know what? I forgot. It's going to be a Marte party.
It's going to be a Marte party. You're damn right. It's going to be a Marte party. I got to get myself a Marte jersey. So Josh, are you ready for trivia time?
Well, yeah. Let's do trivia real quick. And then I want to go back to what else is going on at Citi Field. So, but yes, let's go.
Oh, you can finish it up.
No, dude. At Citi Field, we got the McKellar Brew Pub. I think that's going to be back this year. McFadden's should be open. Jim Beam Bar out at center field. The 7-Line Army, shout out to them. They're going to be there this weekend. So I hope to see some of those guys. That would be awesome. Last time I was with them was at Yankee Stadium. That was pretty crazy. That must have been 2017, 2018. So, and dude, honestly, the food, if anyone has a chance to look up Matt Vasgersian taking on Citi Field food on the MLB Network, it was about a 5-minute clip. Oh my God. So funny. And just actually revealing of what good food that they have at Citi Field. I'm getting all those calories burned. I'm going on runs. Like I hate running, but damn, man, I'm ready to burn the calories to eat up some good Citi Field food this weekend. No doubt.
You're making me jealous.
Yeah. All right. Hit me with trivia.
All right. So big trivia question. I don't think you'll know this. We'll see.
Yeah.
So one of them is a gimme. But only 3 teams have never had an MVP. Which are those teams?
This was going to be Mets trivia.
The Mets are
the Mets have never had an MVP, obviously.
Right. So who are the other 2?
Well, it's got to be teams that either have not been around for a little bit or have always offensively struggled. Now, there are teams that haven't won the World Series. Padres are one. So Padres have definitely had Tony Gwynn, so I think he's an MVP. So I'm going to go with the Tampa Bay Rays as never having an MVP.
You're correct with the Rays.
Okay. All right. So I got one more, right?
Yep.
All right. So Mariners never won a World Series either, but they had Junior, so he probably definitely won MVPs. The Marlins are my better guess, but I don't think so. I want to say the D-backs as well. So I'm going to go Marlins, D-backs are my answer. D-backs had like those, I hate to say steroid guys that had Luis Gonzalez back in the day. It's hard to believe that one of them didn't win an MVP. But then again, Barry Bonds was over there killing it. And then the Marlins had Miguel Cabrera, Hanley Ramirez. I'm going to go Marlins.
Giancarlo Stanton.
Damn it. I forgot that G. Stanton had that. So, okay. So was I right with my other pick, though?
You're right with the Diamondbacks.
Damn it.
Honestly, I was dying because you were talking Miguel Cabrera and Hanley Ramirez. And I was like, he doesn't remember Giancarlo Stanton 5 years ago.
Well,
But,
that's how he got
yeah.
traded to the Yankees. I just kind of
Right.
phase out that Marlins
too.
side of G stand because I just don't want to remember it. It's like, oh, he's a Yankee? Good. I don't have to remember the times that he killed the Mets. Otherwise,
Killed us.
other time, besides six times a year. You know what I mean?
Well, Josh, I know this is a Mets pod, but I do want to say, did you see how he lined out to left field last night with a runner on and the Yankees were down by 2?
Let's be real. John Sterling, worst
I
radio
love it.
announcer in history. People love him. He's an icon. It is high. It is far. It is caught. And you know what? Tell me where that ball, if you're listening on the radio, please, last night, tell me, comment at me, tweet at me, ATMP, baby. If you're listening on the radio and didn't see the replay, where was that ball hit? You don't know. Because John Sterling doesn't tell you. He doesn't.
No, it's true. It's true.
Is high. It is far. It is down the left field line, foul ball, and caught 37 feet in front of the fence. Oh, so it hit 280, John? Thanks a lot for nothing.
Yeah,
sick of
forget
it.
my hopes.
Sick of it.
Yeah, I'm with you there. But
all right, so D-backs, we got to take 2 out of 3 or sweep. Anything less than 2 out of 3, obviously you're unsatisfied because you lose the series against the D-backs. And I think I'm looking forward to a fun and exciting home opening weekend, whether you're there or not. Easter Sunday, 1:40 game time. Sit back, drink a beer, hang out. We're going to be back hopefully on Tuesday, Jack. Is that right?
I'm away this week.
Jack's on vacation. Looks like it's going to be a Jesus solo appearance for possibly the next 2 episodes. Jack, I'll bring in a special guest. I know a few people. One lives in Long Island that I can call. He might be going to a Mets game with us later this year. If he's listening, Noah, I'm calling you out. Join the podcast.
Come on,
ATMP Mets. Follow us on Twitter. Hit the subscribe button down below and let us know what you think. Maybe you hate our garbage takes. Maybe you like it. Maybe you like our experiences at Citi Field. Maybe you're like, these idiots don't know what they're talking about. I don't care. Hit the subscribe button. Let us know what you think. We're out.